Hi everyone, welcome to UTV Gooner and our show, The Shooting Lone Star with Ram from the Austin Gooners. Hey bro, how are you?
What's up, man? Just a little sad that the season's over. Also a little bit relieved. Because it's a big emotional roller coaster, but yeah, bittersweet. And but as we know, the machine never stops, man. So already hearing about transfer rumors and things like that. So it's gonna be an exciting summer for sure. I'm excited.
Yeah, big summer coming up for us. So the Everton game, comfortable win. The pressure was off, you could say. So it's a little bit easier. They also as well, they were safe at that point. They had a relegation, so they didn't play without much intensity. Comfortable win for our boys. We scored some good goals. So it's been a while since we thrashed the team as well. So it was nice to see us beat them easily, give them a good thrashing, 5-1 in the end. So what are your thoughts on the game?
Um, yeah, I mean, I think even Frank Lampard said it himself. I mean, he didn't like explicitly say like they weren't trying, but they put all their effort into the previous match, which they were able to secure staying in the top flight. I actually watched that game and was rooting for them because I wanted it to be done with by the time that they faced us. And it was a fun game. Like I watched it at the pub, and it just felt sort of like the last day of classes, like at university or something. Like you just kind of like there to say bye to everybody and talk about what the plans are for summer, just things like that. So it was good to kind of see like our team, as you said, just like thrash another opponent for a while. Like it was good to see goals. It felt like um it was good to see like the boys play without any pressure. You could really just see how good we can be. Um, but obviously very bittersweet given the fact that it didn't mean anything, but part of the reason was because we kind of blew it at the end. uh but yeah, I mean, it was great to see everybody get a goal. Like Martinelli's penalty was good. I was surprised he was going to take it, but kind of glad that he did. Another young guy that's stepping up and looking good. And Kedia had a nice, kind of a poacher's goal. Not really. Like, I mean, he did his job as a striker, right? The cross came in and he was, Johnny on the spot. And Cedric Cedric scored a goal. Hopefully that was his swan song game for Arsenal. Shout out to him though. I mean, I respect his game and he's a good professional, but it's kind of over him already. Um, Gabriel looks as good as ever. And it's really good to have like a center back that's a threat to score, especially that close. Um, and then Odegaard had another one, and I mean he had another good game as well. So it was fun to see like us just playing loose. And again, bittersweet. You kind of wish that our guys could play loose like that all the time, even when the pressure's on. But it was a good season nonetheless, and I think it was a good way to end it, I guess.
Yeah, so unfortunately, Norwich couldn't do that miracle for us. It was an easy win for Tottenham. We missed out
Yeah.
on the top four, but it was so close, just 2 points in the end. So I
Mm.
wanted to ask you, what do you think has cost us for top four? I know obviously there's many factors, but what would you say is the main reason you think we missed out on the top four?
Ah, you know, I'm looking at our table right now, and we had one more win than Chelsea. Uh, we had three draws. We had 13 losses. If you kind of look at those 13 losses, they came in bunches, right? Like we lost the first three. We lost a couple in the middle of the season. We lost a few in January in a row. We had that bad streak right before our good streak with against Chelsea, Man United, and West Ham. But the ones before that, which we were kind of almost assuming they were going to be 3 points, like we just shit the bed, and then we ended with Tottenham and Newcastle the way that ended. Um, and I think it was our overall basically our inability to score enough goals hurt us. Like if you look at those losses, a lot of 2-0s, 3-0s, 4-0s, things like that. Like, once the first goal went in, it was almost like we weren't a threat anymore. Um, and so I think ultimately our inability to score goals led to those losses. Led to, we couldn't come back. We couldn't overcome falling behind 1-0, 2-0. I mean, for the teams that were great, the Man City, Liverpool's, watch them fall down 2-0 and end up tying or end up winning, right? Like Liverpool and Man City did that on the last day, basically. Um, yeah, I just think, yeah, in short, just our inability to put the ball in the back of the net with with consistency. Um, I think that ultimately is what killed us, because if we drew one of those games or turned one of those games into a win, we're not talking about us falling short. We're talking about we're back in Champions League, and it's going to be amazing. We're going to get a big signing or two. So it's the goals, man, and we need some strikers.
Yeah. So, what mark would you give us for the season out of 10? How would you rate us?
Man, I think we're a young team, right? And we showed lots of flashes, and I've spent already, like, a good chunk already talking about those bad stretches, but we look good a lot, man. Like, I mean, we have a we have a style of play. We have intention with the ball. We have, I guess, a philosophy. Like, I can tune into the match, and I know what Arteta is going to expect from our boys, and I know how we're going to play, right? Like, I can see it, and but we're not there yet. We there was certainly some mistakes that were made both by coaches and on the other side of the coin with the players. As much as I'm praising them, we did put some stinkers out there. There were times where nobody looked good. There was times when maybe like one player looked good out of everyone. Um, if I had to rate it out of 10, I'd probably say like a 7, maybe a 7.5. But no, I'll just stick with a 7. Now I translate, like, if we were doing grades, I'd give us like a C+. Not quite B. Not quite up there, but just short of being acceptable. Like, I thought we had a good season. Um, but obviously the letdown at the end really kind of dampers that mood a little bit. And again, we could just never overcome losses, and I think that hurt us in the end. So we didn't do bad, we didn't do great, but we had a solid season. So I'll give it about a 7. We'll go 7.
Okay. And what
How about
rating
you?
would you give Mikel Arteta?
I would have to maybe give him a little bit better grade. I think maybe a 7.5. Even though we didn't, and I'll start by pointing out maybe like the end of the season. Uh, I liked that he responded to a move like, for example, the Granit Xhaka, putting him at left back. I like that he responded quickly enough, like, hey, it didn't work. Let's step away from it. I wasn't nearly upset with a lot of how we went out the last few games in terms of the starting 11. I thought, he made the right choices. I just didn't think the players came through. Sometimes, and then in the same, like, if the players did come through, then he probably gets a better grade. But they didn't come through, so it's just a real weird dynamic in a spectrum, right? Like, sometimes I feel like the coaches make good decisions and the players don't come through, or sometimes I feel like the coaches are doing horrible, but the players are doing their best. And I felt like Mikel has set up a standard of what he wants and a style for what he wants, and the instructions seem to be pretty clear. Um, So for that, I got to give him credit, and I've been saying that a lot. So, and I want to be consistent and say like he gets credit for that. I just think ultimately our youth showed, and our inexperience showed, and no amount of coaching I don't think would have been able to overcome the inexperience and also just the lack of depth. Um, so yeah, I would give him a 7.5. I hesitate to say 8. I would probably be close to like B plus range. I don't think he did amazing, but the progress has been made, and I see it. And so I think he did well, as well as he could have. Obviously, there's mistakes, and or there's decisions. That the Aubameyang thing is gonna we'll probably be talking about that long after he's on Arteta, whenever that is, right? Um, I feel like that deserves some scrutiny, and the decision, whether it was his or not, um, to trim the squad, I think that deserves some scrutiny as well. Uh, and I think that affected the results at the end, and so I think that has to affect his grade. So yeah, 7.5. What about you? What are you thinking?
Yeah, I think he made some mistakes through the season, no doubt about that. But as a young manager, we can understand that it's his first job, so he's going to make mistakes, and we have to hope that he learns from it and he grows as a manager. I think he's done well enough with the squad that we have, to be competing for Champions League right up until the end of the season, getting
Mm,
close. So I can see that he has got potential to become a really good manager, but it's still in that learning phase. The team's learning as well. It's a young team, so hopefully this experience this season coming so close and they're missing out is going to make us stronger next season as a team, him as a manager. And yeah, just his man management skills as well. As you mentioned, the Aubameyang situation, we're seeing it with other players as well, Guendouzi. So hopefully he can improve on that as well. But yeah, I think a solid season, enough. 7, as you said. I think 7's a good rating for him. Same for the team. I think 7. If we could have got Champions League, that would go up to like a 9 for both.
yeah,
But we just missed out. So yeah, no, overall, not a bad season. Progress for sure from finishing 8th, 5th. It's not what we want. We want to be in the top 4. We want to be competing for league titles. So we're still far away from that, but we're heading in the right direction. So let's hope the board have backed him, the owners have backed him with this contract extension. We need them to back him now in the transfer window. And if we can have a really good transfer window, I'm sure we're going to be even better next season. So what I wanted to ask you in terms of next season now is, what do you think is a minimum requirement as a target? What do you want to see us achieving next season?
um, well, yeah, it's the gift and the curse, right? When you have like a good season, you obviously raise expectations, and I am fully on board with that. I want to see us accepting nothing less than top 4. I think that needs to be the minimum now next year, especially with teams like Manchester United, no doubt are going to go through a transition. Um, a team like Newcastle United getting momentum, and the writing is on the wall that they're going to start to spend more money. Uh, and it's going to get tighter, right? And so I think a Champions League spot is not nothing less. I don't I think also going deep in Europa League. Um, I still feel like the jury's still out on Arteta on how he manages us in European competitions. I don't think he's done particularly well in his short time. Like his first season, he was already, he came. I almost feel like his first season was that half season, right? So like you kind of got to give it a wash. But obviously his second season was, we kind of flopped out of the Europa League, and then obviously this year we didn't have European football, so I really want to see the way he manages, you know, um, an extra campaign. And I think I don't know exactly like what would be considered like successful in the Europa League, short of like winning it. I think we could win it, and I think we should have that ambition to try and win it. But let's say we get knocked out in like the final 4, the semis. Like I think that would be an admirable run. Uh, but that would have to assume that we're top four, right? So yeah, I'm kind of hoping we don't see us like where West Ham is, for example, like putting all their eggs in the basket of the Europa League and looking at us in the table and we're like, sixth or seventh or eighth or something like that, struggling to get up top. I feel like we need to be competing on both fronts. So competing for top four and also competing for a trophy. I also think, either FA Cup or Carabao Cup, I think we got to compete for one of those as well. Like I think we got to go, we got to start like improving, right? Like we've been saying all this time, like, hey, we're growing, we're struggling, this and this. I feel like we've set ourselves up to have high expectations this next year. Um, so yeah, so I'll say got to be top four in the Premier League, got to be at minimum like a semifinal appearance in the Europa League, and then FA Cup or Carabao Cup, we gotta bring in something. I think a trophy would be uh awesome, and yeah, top four and fighting for Europa. So that's where I would say like that's the floor, right? So we'll see what happens, right? We'll see what happens, but that's what I think we should be expecting because we've improved, right? We're young, we've been improved. Now it's time to see our boys take the next step, and that's the next step.
Okay, so a couple of things I wanted to ask you in regards to this season still is who is your player of the season?
Oh, easy. A lot of people are going to say Bukayo Saka, and that would be like the easiest decision to make. I mean, he got nominated for the Young Premier League Player of the Year and also like Premier League Player of the Year. Like he's our star boy. I think he's incredible, but I kind of want to. I think our Player of the Year is Martin Odegaard. I think him leaving Madrid to come back and sign with us set the tone, and the fact that I think he's shot up to the front as far as being the favorite to be named captain. Um, really says a lot about his character and I think his influence on the team. And a lot of times when we had bad games, I feel like he was still like our lone bright spot. So again, nothing, not even to take anything away from Bukayo Saka, but I think I kind of want to go against the grain and kind of do something different and just say like Martin Odegaard is somebody I would nominate as Player of the Year if I had a vote.
Okay, and who's
How
your
about you?
second of the season? For me, player of the
Yeah,
year, Odegaard had a great season, no doubt. But for me, Saka, I
yeah.
think
I mean,
his output's been great. He's been getting a lot of goals, assists. He's getting better and better, and he's got such a bright future. And a bit biased for me because he's like my favorite player along with Martinelli. I think
yeah,
Martinelli he didn't play that much at the start of the season, remember? So you know, but got in the team around November. Really, that's when he starting regularly. So came in and done really well. He had a good season as well. And if he had played the whole season, I'm sure he would have been up there with Odegaard and Saka as our best players of the season. Got a shout
yeah,
out Ben White, Gabriel. A lot of our players have had some really good seasons.
yeah,
But yeah, for me, the standout is Odegaard and Saka, as you say. And I'm going to just award it narrowly. I'm going to give it to Saka. The next one I
yeah.
wanted to ask you is your signing of the season.
I'll probably go with Aaron Ramsdale. I think that was sort of the his signing was sort of the icing on the cake. Um, Especially in the aspect of like achieving that goal that Arteta set out of like connecting with the fans. I thought he was like his shithousery kind of made him a fan favorite, like cheering along with the Leicester fans of the city or the Crystal Palace fans, whoever was doing that your shit chant, like that video of him like cheering along with them, uh, made me love him, right? And then just his expressions and the way he celebrates. big and all that kind of stuff. I thought that, again, like the icing on the cake for our the end of our signing period, right? Like he just came in and just completely took over that position. Um, and the fact that he, like, we were a lot of people were criticizing him because he was on two teams that got relegated, and he almost, he came in and just was, you know, putting up clean sheets. Now, obviously, it's not just him, right? It's the whole defense. And, I think as our back four started to get injured and started to struggle, and the lack of depth started to get exposed, he also struggled as well. But at the same time, I mean, his leadership, he just kept that positive attitude and kept playing hard. And I think that his signing definitely solidified the changing of the guard, right? Just the fact that he just took over when he came in and put Leno on the bench. I mean, not even to take anything away from Leno, like Leno's was our guy for a long time, but we brought all this youth, and then Ramsdale was the guy to just kind of put it all together. So I would have to say, like, that was just, for how cheap we got him and for everything he's been through, to kind of essentially, yeah, just becoming another, maybe one of that group of leaders. Like, he's, for me, like, that guy is the signing of the year. Um, just because it cemented everything together. Although, a good argument can be made for Odegaard, as the very first point I made. He left Madrid, who's in the Champions League final right now, to come to, because he believed in the Arsenal project enough. I think that set the tone as well. But yeah, Ramsdale is for me anyways, the signing of the year. How about you?
You'd say out of 6 signings, 4 of them have been really good. So Tommy
Yeah.
Yasu, Ben White, Ramsdale, and Odegaard. And between them 4, Odegaard, amazing he's been, but I still think the jury's a little bit out of him in the bigger games.
Hmm.
He hasn't performed as well in the bigger games, so I want to see him improve there. Tommy Yasu has been great. Unfortunately, he's had that injury. It really affected him in the second half of the season, and it affected us as a team as well, because when he's in the team, we've been a lot more solid. Ben White's had a great season. The partnership he's formed with Gabriel has been amazing, and it was expensive, big amount of money, 50 million, but I think he's justifying that price tag. We want to hope that he continues to play this well, gets better. And then to Ramsdale, again, as you'll say, what too sure about him. Seen him playing for teams that are struggling, and not sure if he's an elite level keeper, but he's really proved himself. He's been solid, commanding, very few errors he makes, which is one of the things that issues we had with Leno, that he's a very good keeper as well, but he would make mistakes quite often. But Ramsdale, very few mistakes we've seen throughout the season with him, very solid with his feet as well.
Yeah.
Really important to the way that we want to play. Arteta wants us to play, being able to pass out from the back. So it's a difficult one between them 4, but I'm going to give it to Tommy Yasu. I think it's just a great signing in terms of, not well known when he came in. Nobody would really say we know who he is, and he's going to be a really good player, but the scouting, they've done a good job there with him. I think he's going to be a great right back for us for many years. We really needed someone there, because we had Berlin all these seasons, and he's very up and down, very inconsistent, not so good defensively, better attacking wise, but defensively he was a weak point in his game. But with Tommy Yasu, I think both sides of his game are really good. Defensively really solid, and going forward as well, he is able to get forward, up and down that right wing, and get good balls into the box and help link up the play. So yeah, for me, signing of the season, for also with the value for money as well. Like, Ben White's been a great signing, but we paid 50 million for him. So with that, we are expecting a really good player paying that kind of money. But with Tommy Yasu, we weren't sure, how that signing is going to turn out to be, and it's turned out to be an amazing signing, and let's hope he continues to get better and better. So now, I wanted to talk to you about the place where we want to be, hopefully soon, which is in the title race. What a conclusion to this season's title race. Man City went 2-0 down to Aston Villa. with just 20 minutes to go, it was looking really bad for them, but they pulled it around, came back, 3 goals in 5 minutes, sealed the championship for them. Liverpool had an intense game against Wolverhampton as well. They were losing about 1-0. They turned it around. As you were saying earlier, these teams are very good at turning matches around. Even if they got a goal or 2 down, they're able to come back. And that's something we need to improve on. But yeah, I wanted to ask you your thoughts on the conclusion to the title race.
Oh man. Yeah, I mean, on that championship Sunday, like, yeah, as soon as like Tottenham scored, I kind of was like, over, right? And so we're watching the game and we're kind of like, we're enjoying it, but we're also like, holy shit, like City's down, Liverpool's down, like what's going on? Um, so I had my I didn't have my laptop, but I had my tablet. So I pulled out my tablet and put on the games, and then I also had my phone. So I had those games on my phone and on my tablet, and just kind of going back and forth. And so, I was really rooting for like Wolves kind of break Liverpool's heart, just because I kind of want, like I said, I didn't want Liverpool to get the quadruple. But yeah, it was incredible to just see Man City. Uh, if they both lost, nothing would have changed, and Man City still gets the title. But so it's kind of hoping like, oh shit, all right, they're both losing. Like, okay, I'm cool with that. Yeah. Um, and then Liverpool, I think, equalized, so kind of made it a little bit more interesting. And then I missed it, so I had to rewatch it. But those 3 goals in 5 minutes was just like, come on, like you want to be mad and you want to hate, but like it's also like incredible, right? Like soccer in football, excuse me, like it's so hard to score, right? I mean, that's why we see 0-0 draws. That's why 1-0 draws or 1-0 wins, 2-0 is almost insurmountable to most teams, but not to a team like City. To see 3 goals in 5 minutes. And then I don't know if you saw his press conference afterwards, but Pep made a little joke, and he was like, hey man, I just asked Madrid for advice. Like, they scored 3 and 5 on us. We did the same. Um, yeah, it was incredible. Yeah, it's infuriating and then also just amazing to watch at the same time. So, uh, and we did have our pub is an Arsenal pub for the most part, but sometimes we'll get like random fans coming in and trying to watch the game, and we usually try and like stick them in the back. But this time, like somebody got to the bar early enough to request the Liverpool match. So there's a couple of Liverpool fans that were just loud as hell when they were competing and getting close. So uh, to hear and see them being heartbroken, added a little bit of like, it was like, again, like the little icing on the cake. Like, oh, okay, great. At least I got to see them be sad because they were talking a little bit of mess to start the match. So it was good to kind of see. I mean, I wasn't talking shit, but like it was good to see them like heartbroken. Like, hey, there you go. That's what you get. No trophy for you. So yeah, it was fun, man. It was great, and hopefully, our squad is in the mix in the next couple of years or so, because it's exciting. It's exciting to see the championship still up for grabs on the last day, and then also relegation kind of still back and forth. At the last day, I really wish our top four was secured, or at the worst, like it was still open on the last day, even though it kind of was, but for all intents and purposes, it wasn't. So it was still fun to watch, everything go down. And I guess congrats to Man City or whatever, like another one. Uh, but yeah, whatever. I'm not too excited about them anyway. It just doesn't feel like anything cool, right? Like Liverpool, you might feel a certain response, either positive or negative, because they're a rival, you know. And then at the same time, like, Klopp is a good coach and they got some players I like. But for City, it's just like, whatever. Like, I guess, like, I don't know. I don't even feel like they have a fan base. So it is what it is ultimately at the end of the day. Kudos to them, but whatever.
Okay, so Liverpool missed out on winning the Premier League. They're
Yeah.
still on for the treble though, so the quadruple is no longer on, but they got hopes for the treble if they can win the Champions League final on this Saturday against Real Madrid. What's your thoughts on that one?
Uh, Hala Madrid, man. I'm pulling for them. Uh, I kind of want to see them Liverpool at this point just crash and burn now. Uh, but I think it's going to be an exciting match. I think it's just like all of the Liverpool matches in trophy situations. It'll go to penalties again, which I'll be happy for. But I want to see Madrid win. I want to see Benzema, show up again. I don't know if like someone who else might pose. Rodrigo might play. Uh, we'll see. Yeah, I think I'm gonna pull for Real Madrid to just destroy Liverpool's hopes of another Champions League. But I do want like as I do whenever as a neutral fan for these matches, I kind of want to see an all out like 4-3 back and forth or tied 3-3 and going into penalties. Like I just want to see excitement. I want to see high quality soccer. I don't want any like controversial calls or whatever. Like I don't want anybody to be like we got robbed. I just want like a good hard fought soccer match that ends in penalty kicks. Hopefully it would be kind of funny to see another goalkeeper miss a kick. And whatever happens, right, I'll, I'm just excited and also sad that it'll be the end, but it's going to be a good final, right? Like two good teams. Liverpool's good, right? Despite the fact that they didn't get the league, but and that they could win or whatever. But and then Madrid, same thing. Like they ran away with La Liga this year, so we're not. I don't think it's really matched. Um, and there's going to be a lot of star power out there. And I think for Liverpool, like I've been reading reports that someone like Sadio Mane or Mo Salah, like their status with the club is still not solidified yet. So we might start seeing Liverpool kind of go through some changes in the next year or so, or maybe over the summer. So who knows? What this Liverpool team will look like, what this Madrid team will look like. So it'll be an interesting match to see if that affects how players go out and play. Like I don't know, man. I'm excited. Can't wait. It's a perfect time on a Saturday. I already could pick the bar where I'm gonna watch it. So it'll be good.
Yeah, it's been a great season. We've got to say, so much good football, close battles. Title race went right down to the wire. Our top four race went down to the wire. Right, the last game, it was very unlikely Norwich were going to be able to do anything and do us a favour, but it did go right down to the end of the season, the relegation battle too. We've seen some good matches during the UEFA Cup, the Champions League, and domestic competitions as well. Two great finals between Liverpool and Chelsea. It's strange to say great finals because both of them finished 0-0, but they were two very good finals that
Yeah,
ended
yeah.
into sudden death penalties. So yeah, really good season. Little break now. Looking forward to seeing what business we can do in the summer transfer window. Huge summer transfer window coming up for us, and excited to see what we can do. So yeah, that's all from us for this week's show. Thanks, bro.
Yeah, man. And I'll end it by saying this real quick. It was a great season, despite the way it ended. A little disappointing, but we were in it to the end. We made a lot of progress. Obviously, our standing is not where we want it to be. We did get let down at the end, but the future is bright. And in my short time as a Gooner, I have not felt that way at the end of the season until this year. So I gotta think like, hey, that's progress. So obviously we have a long way to go. Our ambitions are high, but even though we're not there yet, we're getting there. The building blocks are there, and you see the momentum building. So anybody who's watching this, just I know it's all kind of cool to be a little bit negative sometimes, but let's all be positive and just kind of, see what happens in the upcoming months. But great season. It was awesome. Cheers, man.
Yeah, it's like I say, it's been a good season all around, and for us, yeah, it's been a roller coaster, a lot of emotions, up and down season. But gotta say, the team are improving defensively as well. We've really improved massively this season, so the signs of progress are there. Positive for next season. Let's hope we can improve on this, secure a trophy next season, get top four, and then continue to build and challenge the likes of Man City and Liverpool in the near future. So yeah, thanks for your time, bro.
My pleasure, man. Thank you as always. Looking forward to the next chat.
For sure, bro. So that's all from us. Thanks for watching, everyone. Please remember to subscribe, like, and share.